Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Going Deep with Daryl Coxy. Today we've got Monica Nevi, straight from LA, here just for us and maybe some other shows. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So excited.
I sound like it, don't I?
Yeah, very excited. So you just had some big things happen. You had some sold out shows in Wenatchee.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah,
why the hell would you go over there?
Because they want comedy. No, I go where people ask me to go and are going to pay me. That's pretty much all it is.
Sweet. Okay, yeah. So sold out. That's fantastic. So whoever's producing over there is doing a great job. Is it like a college show or Lumberjacks or?
No, it's called Laugh Productions with a PH. They just put stuff on. The guy's name is Alex. He does stuff during the summer sometimes too. So I've worked for him before, and they did a series called Cold Winter Nights, and just once a month they brought a big headliner. I was with Jay Larson, and they flew them in, and he asked me to do it, and it was great. He does a good. I don't know if I've ever done a show for him that wasn't sold out. So then we did a Friday night show where I was headlining just at like this art gallery, and that sold out in like a week too. So
fantastic.
I know.
Wow, you're on fire.
It was really fun. So.
Okay, so let's make sure the audience is up to speed, all the bees out there on your resume. So originally you're from Renton, Washington. Definitely been big in the Seattle scene. Moved to LA. You're touring. You've done comedy festivals, Bridgetown, Bumper Shoot. You've won the Centralia Comedy Award, or what was that?
I won the Olympic Peninsula Comedy Competition.
Holy So that's really exciting. And now you're here with the bees again. And so this isn't our first show together. We did one several years ago, 3 Bees. And what was that experience like? Let's be honest.
It was good. It was overwhelming. I think I'd want to say that I didn't have a podcast at the time, so it could have been, the first few times I had done anyone's show. I think I'd been on a couple before, but most of them were like this, just one person. And so it was so many people, and there was a lot going on, and that's hard to, unless it's really pointed at you, you kind of got to fight for being in there. So, yeah. But it was fun, and everybody was fun and loose, and some naughty stuff going on. But
very naughty. This is more of a mature show. I would say we've grown. We're concerned about lawsuits, and so we're kind of pulling back the craziness. But we're still gonna have a good time. So you look beautiful. I would definitely swipe right for you.
Thank you.
Just want to put that out there. It was on my art.
Like, hey girl, swipe right on you.
Well,
hey girl, I just want you to know.
I believe in this to be in a space of truth, and I might as well just say you look pretty.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and so you'll note as the show goes on, I really am not going to invite a lot of dudes on. This is really a space for me and the ladies. But
just a reason for you to be alone with a woman in a room. Is that what it is? Great.
Well, possibly. No. We are putting a full show together with other bees, and so I've been interviewing folks, and it's going to be legit. But this is going to be, a special series, Going Deep with Daryl Coxy, where we really get in depth with special guests like yourself. And so I'm glad you're here, and also wanted to celebrate your birthday. You just turned how? 28?
28, yeah.
Wow.
28 a couple days ago.
Exciting.
Dealing with it. Okay. Now, I break down every year about a week before.
Right.
And I think this is a quicker recovery than it's been in the last couple of years. So
what is it about that just makes it a little...
I think it's just a reflective time, and you're like, okay, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? What haven't I done? I feel like this is the first time I've really felt like I was going too fast and too slow at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I know what I want, and I want to get there, but I'm also really trying to be present, and so I don't know. It's the in-between. I feel very in-between right now. And so that gets overwhelming. And so infinite patience has been my mantra this year and what I've been working on. I read it in a book. Infinite patience creates immediate results. So once you're actually like patient, you let things go. That's when stuff happens.
Wow.
But getting there is really difficult.
I can so relate with that.
Yeah, it is true though.
Oh my God.
Like, as soon as you let it go, that's why you get like irritated. You know, you're like, oh, I wish this person would text. I wish this person would text.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop thinking about it, you're like, oh, now you're going to text me? Yeah,
Exactly.
So it's true though. So that's definitely been my focus. But that you're like kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen in between. And am I, what can I do to make sure that it's just, you got to just believe that the thing at the end is going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Whatever's in the middle is going to be what's in the middle. That's just...
Wow. This really touches me because lately I'm so used to being in long-term relationships and I'm currently single. And so whenever I'm like flirting with somebody or take somebody out, I immediately want to go straight to the deep end. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Like, do you love me now? Like,
right, exactly.
And so like that's approach hasn't been working yet. So I feel like, just like relaxing a little bit, enjoying the in between.
It is a hard, well, and I mean, that's, the fun part of relationship that, if it does become something more, you want to hold on to, so trying to be in that and just enjoying it while it's happening is good.
Yeah. But what's also weird for me is like, I took a girl out and like she's like totally incapable of like emotional intimacy or like didn't even want to like talk. She just wanted to like, I don't know. She was like a guy and it was like, come on, like let's like talk. Like, what'd you have for breakfast? I mean, come on. Am I smothering you with basic questions? I don't know. So, I mean, it's weird for me because of stereotypes. Like, guys are this way, girls are this way. And I'm just, I don't know. I mean, things have changed over the years. And maybe I'm just not the standard dude. But,
it's definitely a different environment now, for sure. I mean, even for me, it hasn't been that long. And I think dating has always had an internet element to it for me. Except when I was in, like, middle school, but but even then we had like instant messenger, whatever, like you go home and still talk to each other. So I've always had that, but even then, like I was in a long-term relationship. It ended when I was 20 and I've been single pretty much since then. And even in that time, things have changed so much and just how we're treating each other and all that. It's just different. And I don't
people don't connect the same way they used to.
I don't want to fall into it, but I do think naturally I'm a little bit old-fashioned. Like I like just being with one person and
just one person.
Yeah, and I like the we thing, and I like and I haven't really. It's really difficult for me to connect with people, so I haven't really found that. But it is. I kind of like the let's go on date night and have flowers and that shit. Like I love that. So, but other people aren't. Not everyone is like that anymore. So,
right.
It's not even my frustration with finding someone that also is like that, because I think that exists. But my frustration is with people around me that are like, "Oh, monogamy is not a real thing," and I'm like, "All right, everyone is different. Is what it comes down to. I think that works for other people or whatever,
sure,
and that's fine, but." You saying it's just the same thing of this blanket statement of like everyone should be married to one person and it's heterosexual and whatever, or you doing the opposite thing is the same thing of being like, no, everybody should just be with everyone and do whatever they want. No, there's middle ground. There's in between.
I had someone was kind of inviting me into that world, the kind of dungeon poly world, and I don't think that's a fit for me. I was like, no, I don't think so. I mean, I've got nothing to do, so maybe I'll go to your dungeon show, but
right.
But I don't know.
You considering it or kind of like, seeing what it's about is different than, it's not automatically going to be like, yep, this is for me. But if you're like, okay, I see what this is about. I know that's not for me, but that's fine for you.
Right.
I had a friend who was, she started dating a guy who was poly, and she was like trying to like do that too, and it just wouldn't work for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think in theory, I mean, it's true. Even if you're in a committed, happy relationship, you still look at the menu. You're like, oh, that's an attractive person, and oh, wow, your mind wanders a little bit. But there's a difference between that and the reality of like sleeping with multiple people and nobody's fully committed. I mean, the biggest piece for me, because I do have kids, is thinking about how that would impact children.
Yeah.
Like that just, I mean, kids need stability,
Absolutely.
and having, I don't know, it's just kind of weird.
Well, and I think, I mean, and maybe it's because my lifestyle is the way that it is, and it's been like this for so long because I'm gone all the time and I have been single and stuff, but I kind of crave the normalcy now. I kind of want that stability for myself, and just like having one person that is like I can always go back to and count on. And I really, that is attractive to me now. And it wasn't, I think it's a societal thing where it's, I don't know, almost seen as like, can you do it to be like with a lot of people, or like, like, oh, I got game and I can get, and it's almost more of a challenge in my head for me now to have a functional, healthy relationship. And I kind of like that, where I'm like, I think I could do that. Because I'm
sure,
like, it's not that fun, and it is kind of easy to just not be tied down and
right.
Right.
I mean, especially when you travel and it would be more work for a traveling comedian, to have a standard relationship.
Yeah.
I totally believe that.
I need to change the way I travel a little bit anyways, but yeah, the way I do things now, because I do think I try to not on purpose, but subconsciously try to distract myself from how hectic everything is by just being working all the time, so that I'm not like thinking about the fact that I don't get to see my family a lot, or that I don't have a relationship, or those kinds of things. So I think, maybe I tie those together where I can kind of change and everything can calm a little bit if I had a relationship. I don't know. Yeah,
I think we are truly going deep today. I love it. I love it. This is good. So you said something that I heard us a minute ago, and you said you had trouble, or people had trouble connecting with you on a level, like deep relationship level. What do you think that barrier is that's stopping that?
I don't know. I wish I could figure it out. I mean, I don't think, this is going to sound kind of bad, but I don't know if people have a problem connecting with me. I just don't really like people. Like, it's not, it's weird. I mean, like, I can appreciate you as a person and we can be friends, but to actually really want to be with someone is so difficult for me. And I don't know, like, little things bother me, or I just feel like I've had a connection with a couple of people where I'm like, oh yeah, duh, this is what, it's very obvious. This is what this is. And if that's not that, I feel like we're wasting time a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So if the chemistry is not there, then it's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, especially like a relationship, like I'll date people and I go through phases where I'm like, you've been alone for a long time. You should probably like just try, because then maybe you do meet somebody. And there's been a few where it's like, oh, I could maybe make this work, but then I realize that I'm like forcing that and like convincing myself that I should do that, and I think that's not the way a relationship should start,
right?
Or function. You should actually really want to be with that person,
right? Like kind of like I want to. If you're not living together, like I want to text them now, and I want to talk to them at lunch, and I want to see them after work, and yeah,
for sure. So, yeah, I have tried to force myself into it a couple times, and then been like, this isn't. So
is it that, like, I do annoying things all the time, I'm sure. So is it when someone's like does something physically, like they cough a lot, or they're flatulent, like you're like, get out of here, you're gross, or what is it? Do you just get bored of people like a cat? Like, yeah, I'm done with you. I'm moving on. Like,
that's interesting. I mean, I will say it's something deeper than that, because those things do bother me, and I will use that as an excuse for why. Like, I did stop dating a guy because he covered his mouth weird. But if you really like that person and connected to them, you'd be like, oh, that's that cute thing he does. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
sometimes.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, eventually maybe it gets annoying, but it's funny. Because, like, I've had dudes, like, write me poems before, and if I don't like them, I'm like, that's creepy, that's weird, why are you doing that? This isn't that good. And then I dated someone I really, really liked, and they wrote me poems, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
They're so good at it. And they were better at it, but also it was like, not as... You're
into them as a person, so then their art or their expression means something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's...
Wow. Yeah, I like it. I feel like some truth is being shared, and I want that to be clear for all the bees out there that we're sharing ourselves here to the world, and so I want you to honor that. And so if you're a troll and you're looking for dirt, I want you here because this is a safe space for beautiful people to express themselves and be true to themselves and make some funny stuff happen. So yeah, that's the rule here. And if you don't like it, I'm going to delete you. All right. Um, so, so before I did a podcast, and so now this is YouTube, right? So I chose YouTube because I love watching YouTubers. I mean, I would much prefer now to watch some YouTubers than I would to watch a normal TV show. I know that sounds crazy, but I think it's because of that. I know they're just real people, and I like that. I can just like Boogie, that big dude that's on a diet right now. I just like listening to him talk and sharing his life and talking about video games and I don't know. So I just felt like jumping onto YouTube, doing this for the YouTubers, even with the monetization problems they're having, seemed like the way to go. And so I really appreciate you jumping on and trying this out with me. But this isn't your first time being on YouTube. You've got clips on YouTube. I know you used to do a show with Mitch Burrow. It was kind of like daily news. What was that called?
Dabble.
Daily Dabble. Yeah, that was super fun. So what have you learned from YouTube? What do you like about it? What's annoying?
I like that you can make your own stuff and put your content out there. I think that's great. I think it gets, because everyone can do that, it gets a little muddy and things get lost for sure. Now the frustrating part is that every platform has its own video thing. So instead of being like, here's a link to my YouTube, you just, here's the Facebook version of this and here's this. So it's harder to get views on YouTube now. I mean, especially because I'll put one on Facebook and one on YouTube. But so that's a little bit annoying. And then YouTube itself is pretty difficult to like promote yourself on. You kind of have to use a different platform to drive people
Twitter,
there.
something.
So
Snapchat.
Those things are a little bit frustrating, but
yeah, I got to say, I mean, I know I'm older than you by quite a bit, so I'm very old fashioned. I'm like, I don't want to learn a new app every day and have a bazillion passwords and places, and I feel like it's work because like if you're like even mildly or moderately current on all your sign-ins, whether it's Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, blah, 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 it's like I should be getting paid to spend that much time to put out something clever or an update, everywhere. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I'm just not interested in that.
Yeah, it is work. I mean, that's how I feel about my social media presence because it is part of what we do now, and so I do feel a little pressure to post something on Instagram every day that's worth looking at, and or I have a Facebook fan page and I need to make sure that's updated with my shows, and then also stuff that people are interested in looking at and not just
and your website, and it just never ends.
Yeah, so that is definitely part of it now as the job part. So it kind of ruins it a little bit for.
It's not fun.
Yeah, for the social aspect of it, Because like my parents are my friends on Facebook, but they have to watch, these 5,000 other friends I have just say weird shit about comedy or whatever,
Right.
And then it's a little different.
I'm with you. Well, a lot more to talk about, but I felt like we touched on your birthday and we didn't give you your present. So I talked to the bees. We did a crowdfunding effort, and we put together a gift for you.
This is from everybody.
Me and all the bees out there. That's
okay.
Right. So happy birthday!
It's an unboxing video. Wow. Did you wrap this yourself?
Not at all.
It's impressive.
Thanks.
Whoever did.
I did pick out the wrapping paper. I thought you'd like that.
Should we open this first?
Sure.
This. Okay.
That is proper, etiquette.
Right. Card first. Is it?
Show the camera.
That's good. Read it. Boom.
Nice.
That's great. Thank you. Solid card choice. It's very important to pick a good card.
I'm glad you feel that way because I almost didn't get a card, so I'm glad I made that choice.
I appreciate a good card. I'm, again, with the old-fashioned stuff, I'm all about writing, and I'll write my friends letters and mail them to them like a weirdo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm alone during the day a lot.
That's awesome.
And I've drawn pictures. Horrible artist, but I draw pictures anyways. They appreciate it. But it's not, you don't get mail anymore. That's not an advertisement or a bill or something, so.
It's awesome.
I enjoy it. I feel bad ruining this wonderful wrapping. Suspense.
Okay, we can't see that far, so you got to bring it up a little bit when
It's just a box
for the reveal.
Right now. I can't get this tape off though.
I might have scissors.
Oh, well, I just ripped the box.
Oh no! How are we going to recycle that? I guess we'll recycle it.
Tape it up again. Okay. Oh, paper. Oh, yes. Oh, it's got a sweater on it. It's a bottle of Tito's with a sweater. That's amazing.
You like it?
Oh, yeah. But, what is it? It's a Bigfoot pop-up.
You will have
You
fun
can
with that, I
shoot people.
guarantee. Yes,
Hell yeah.
safe fun. Absolutely, Bigfoot.
Safe fun.
Yeah.
So,
That might be it.
anything? Okay.
All right, let's do a live picture. Okay. Woo! All right, Instagram gold.
Yeah. 100 likes right there. Boom. Thank you. This is the
And
best
it
gift
so
I've
happens
gotten.
I have cups
Oh, there you go.
and I have
What is-
ginger ale,
Oh, perfect.
so that you might want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't know how well
else do you
Tito's
do?
goes with a cold, but
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. It'll kill all the bacteria, right? That's how that works.
exactly, it cleans you
I'm
out.
really just guessing here with these pours. But.
You know, I might partake with you. So you
Oh,
know,
good.
let's see.
I poured vodka in there.
Oh, perfect.
Good thing you
Good
decided.
idea.
I don't know how well it'll go with the Dayquil I took earlier, but
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if I have a spoon or something. Just swish around.
yeah, that'll be fine. Shake it.
All right.
There
So
we
let's
go.
do a toast to 2018.
Hell yes.
It's your year, Monica.
Thank
Boom.
you. I feel it now.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Nice.
A little bit more than I realized put it there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you. All the bees.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I like that. It's fun. All right. So when I watch some of your clips and seeing you perform, you do something that most comedians don't. And I mean, they work with the crowd, but you tend to make the crowd want to please you because you'll insult them, and then when they start getting into it, you'll say I like you. And so I feel like the way you say you're stupid and I like you and you're a good crowd, it's when I'm in the crowd, it's like, you know, I want to make you happy because you're judging us. And so so can you tell me a little bit about that? Like you know, what's your motivation, or is it just your way to play with the crowd?
I don't know. I think it comes from our podcast, probably. We both started doing it on accident, where we would just say, you're great. And then I think also there's a little bit of a, I'm more afraid of you than you are of me, so I want to keep you happy also. Like, obviously they're having a good time, but as I'm doing that, I'm usually picking out something silly I want to make fun of them for. So then if I can be like, I like you because of that, you know? So it is I don't really do it on purpose. By now I do it a lot, but it just started happening a little bit because I would be like, you know, this is a good audience. You guys are fun. I like what you're liking. And so I would tell them, you know, I've said it a couple times on stage. I don't really know why. I'm like, I feel like we would hang out outside of this situation. And they're like, what? I'm like, I like each of you individually.
I think that's really cool.
Well, I also feel like people are afraid of comedy shows a lot because they've heard, people kind of insult the audience and attack them a little bit. And I want people to want to go to comedy because it's fun and they just want to laugh at the material and feel connected to the person and not be like, oh God, are they going to talk about me? I don't want to sit in the front, that kind of thing.
Right.
So come sit in the front. I'll tell you have a nice shirt on or whatever.
Okay, so I want to hear some stories about either touring or in LA, some of your shows. Like, talk to me about let's hear something positive about just an experience you had, with comedy, whether it's you met a famous comedian that you really enjoyed or just something, somebody in the audience said after the show, like, you really touched me, or like, so let's hear something positive. And then let's go dark. Tell me something about like a really creepy thing that happened, like a stalker or something Me Too related. Like, so hook us up. Talk to us.
The good stuff. I don't know why this is, but middle-aged women really like me when I'm on stage. And so this happened not too long ago, actually. I was in Bremerton. I feel like, it was after a theater show with Jubal, and these women came up kind of to the side. Was that where it was? Anyways, doesn't matter. And they were like, we loved you. You were so great, blah, 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 which is nice. And people, they come up and tell you, and that's fun. But they were like, you just seem like someone we'd want to like have over at a dinner party or whatever. And I was like, what? Like, okay. But in your head, you're kind of like, I'm flattered by that one because people are like, I would invite you to my home. And also, but then I'm like, why do these middle-aged women always want me to hang out with them, like, all the time? I was in Wisconsin, and it's Tammy and Michelle. They're Wisconsin moms, and they loved us, and so they just started buying us drinks. When they're, like, in their 50s, probably, married. One of them was divorced. They got kids, And then they're like, come on, you got to go to these other bars with us. And it's, like, a Thursday. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And we go to these other bars, like playing pool, and they're flirting with these other guys. It was so funny. And then it's like, 2 or whatever, and we're ready to go back to the hotel. And Tammy's like, oh, I'll have my son come pick us up. So her 19-year-old son comes and picks us up from the bar and takes us back to the hotel. And I was like, it's not as much of a rock star lifestyle as being a musician or something. But you're like, these are my groupies here. Also, because I feel like when I'm on the road, I do want a mother. So that's how that works out.
That's pretty cool. I love that you know them by name. Like, you remember them.
Tammy and Michelle? Yeah, they were great.
Did you Facebook friend, or you guys still talk?
I think they follow me on Snapchat. Actually, no, we did Facebook friend. We did Facebook. I remember that. We got tagged in some photos. But
cool. That's awesome.
That was my Halloween this year.
And then let's go to the dark side. There's got to be a lot of that shit out there.
I think people... It's so interesting. I think people feel like they are allowed to say whatever they want to you after shows because you feel like you know me. I've been talking to you for 30, 45 minutes or whatever. So you feel like you can come up and say whatever you... I don't know you still, though. Like, you have to remember that part. I think older guys don't care as much, like, when they say... Like, they'll say something... It's not really... Like, they think they're complimenting you, and then their wife is right there or whatever, and then it's, like, fine. I've had women come over and go, my husband wants to take a picture with you. And I'm like, that's fine. He can come over and ask me himself. I'm confused. And then the guy's like, oh, God. Like, whatever. So you get a little bit of, like, don't worry, you're not going to be alone forever, or whatever. Or, I don't know. So guys don't say they like funny women, but I do. All right. Which isn't that bad. But I get a lot of messages from the younger guys later. And they get upset with me when I deflect a little bit. And that is always kind of irritating. Because I'm like, what was your plan here? Like, what were you? What did you think I was going to be like? Oh, you're the only person who's ever messaged me ever. That's so sweet of you. Yeah, we should grab a drink when I'm back in Dayton. Like, no.
Right.
And I always do, I enjoyed your show. I liked you. I think you're really pretty. Do you want to go out sometime? And I'll be like, I'm so glad you had fun at the show. I travel a lot. Thank you for the invite, but probably not.
Right.
And then they kind of get upset. Guys don't like being rejected. Even though I feel like it happens more often than...
All the time.
Yeah, so you get used to it and you're like, okay, fine.
I think people are used to getting ghosted nowadays, but yeah, I think in some regards it's nice to just say, you know what, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, maybe.
But that truth is like, oh, well.
But maybe that's it though, is because I did respond most of the time, and I do like that's still a nice thing. I like that you enjoyed the show if you really did, and I still want that person to want to see me again.
Yeah, totally.
So, but it just happens quite often. I was in Medford. I was in Medford. The guy was cute too, but I was dating someone, and I don't do that. And he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, I really enjoyed the show." He's like, "I was just, wondering what you're doing after this." And I was like, "Oh, I'm probably just going to head to the hotel room." And he's like, "Oh, well, it could..." He goes, "I don't really know how to say this, but like, could I get your number?" And he's like, "Is that too straightforward?" And I go, "Oh, no, it's probably better that you're straightforward instead of beating around the bush." And then we both kind of stood there for a second and I go, "Oh, no." But like, I don't know. And he's like, "Oh," like you could just see it in his face where I probably shouldn't have like made a joke or like said something in between. I should have been like, "No," but it was straightforward. I was just like, "No." I've had one really, really bad experience, but that wasn't an audience member. It was afterwards we went out. This was in Wenatchee, not this weekend. It was years ago. And we went out to like this dance club with the producer and some of the other people and the other people who were on the show. And I go to walk to the bathroom, and this little mini cowboy is what I call him, because he had to be 5 foot tall. Like, he was little. And he grabs my butt as I walk by. And I've been drinking, and so I turn around and I just go, "Hey, I saw that was you. Don't touch people like that. Like, I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but just don't. You can't do that. I don't know how drunk you are. Like, just don't."
No.
Like that. And then I go to the bathroom, and then he does it to the other girl that we're with. And I was like,
okay, he's out of hand now.
Yeah, so I'm pissed. And then we're walking to the bar. He grabs me again. I turn around, and I walk straight up to him, and I'm like, "Look, you can't fucking touch people like that." And as I'm doing that, he put his hand in between my legs, like in the front, and yeah, which is like, who would ever think to do that? Like, that's so crazy. Like,
that's a good way to get your ass beat. Like,
yeah, I mean,
by other dudes checking this out and be like, "Hey, that's not okay."
Okay, which is what I would have hoped happened. So I lose my shit and just start screaming. And until this day, I'm like, "Wow, I should have just fucking kicked him in the nuts right then," And I'm just screaming at him. So then the security guards like throw us all out, like everybody who's there.
You included. Yes.
And they just like make us go separate ways. That's it. Nobody. And so I'm pissed. And because in my head I was screaming and I was like, I'm not like that, like in general, I'm not confrontational. But I was so upset by it. And so in my head I was like, "You're being crazy right now." And I was like, "But you should be. People can't think that they can do that. Like, you should be this mad."
Right.
And so I kept doing that in my head, and and they're like holding me back the whole time, and I'm just screaming and saying crazy shit, and I'm pissed at this point. I've never felt more powerless in that moment because he wasn't fazed by how upset I was. Right. Like, he did this real, like, just kept a straight face, and he got exactly what he wanted. I was pissed. Mm-hmm. And so we go, and we're like sitting by this fountain, and I'm just talking to the other girl, and the guys are over there, and I was so mad. And then they pull up, the fucking group of cowboys pulls up in their truck. They get out of the car. He, steps down, and and I immediately see them, and I sprint towards him because I know that they're gonna try and grab me again. And I'm ready to hit him. Like, I was so pissed. And Mike grabs me right before I get there, and I was like just yelling ridiculous shit. I was like, "He's tiny. I can take him. Let me go. I got this. You don't have to be involved. I think I can take him." And yeah, they're just like, and he's like, "I don't want to get arrested." And it was just so, and I'm so pissed, and they're pushing me back, and he's just standing there, just unfazed, and kind of like a smirk, like he knows he got me. And I just when we were in Wenatchee last weekend, I don't have Tinder, I don't like really do any of that, but we put it on my phone to try and find him.
Really?
Yeah, because I told our friend Brent about it, and he was like, "We should find him." I was like, "Yeah," because it's such a bad thing, but like, I hope he gets beat up. Like, yeah. I really do. It's just, right. I don't know. That was so frustrating. And it's
But I just
still
love
is
that
really
he
frustrating. That's
a
like
mini
3
cowboy.
years
That's
ago.
hilarious. Like you
He's
should have a bit
tiny.
about that. That's
I know.
hilarious.
I've tried to. I think I get so worked up about it that it's not.
But do you really want to think about him every time you go on stage?
Yeah,
no.
that's a fair point too.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I hate.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No, but yeah, that one was rough. But other than that, like I've had, I get hit on by comics pretty frequently, and then you just say. Oh.
Comedians make the best dates. I mean, or the best partners, right? I mean. Right?
I do think there's a lot of us that are normal and don't. There's that stereotype that they're like, you're all broken. And we've all had stuff happen to us, sure, but you can still be like a normal person. But some people are under the impression that they think comics should only date other people in the industry, and I don't think that's true.
Yeah, probably.
I don't really like it at all. So.
Yeah, well, and you're going to see each other all the time. So if it doesn't go well, then same circles.
Yep. And then there's. With guys especially, there's a little bit of a competition and
yes,
are you doing better than I am? And
right.
I don't want to open for you, so that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm. Right. I hear you. Okay, so it wouldn't be the 3 Bs without a game.
Oh, geez.
And so I have some items here. I'm hoping you hate hot stuff because I got hot stuff.
What?
So we have Flaming Hot Funyuns.
Ew.
Okay. Flaming Hot Cheetos. And then I think this is probably the best choice. The Super Extreme Sour Patch Kids. None of these folks are sponsors as of yet.
Who wants to see this?
All right. So, I mean, I feel like we're already being very frank with each other, but and I honestly couldn't think of a different game on short notice because I didn't plan this out far enough. But so we're going to play Truth or Dare. So the Dare part, just so it doesn't automatically go to where Truth or Dare normally goes, I brought Flaming Hot Cheetos and Sour Patch Kids and Flaming Onions.
Props for the...
So that's the Dare part.
Okay.
And then there's the Truth part. So let's do a couple rounds, and then so if I fail if I say Dare versus Truth, then you get to pick what I eat. I can tell you I really hate flaming hot anything.
Okay.
So that definitely is not something I'll enjoy, but I'll do it. And so let's play a little Truth or Dare.
Okay.
All right. And Truth, I think, is self-evident, right?
Yes.
You have to be honest. Honest for the bees. Okay, Monica?
They already got me a gift. I owe them.
So I feel like I've already asked a ton of questions. It's your turn. Truth or Dare me.
Okay. Ooh. Why am I thinking so in depth now? Okay, well, Truth or Dare?
Yes.
Truth. Is that where you're going?
Oh, well, shit. Can I decide after you ask me?
No, that's not how this game works. You pick Truth or Dare, and then
I wanted to be like, okay, I don't want to answer that, so I'll eat a hot Cheeto.
That's not how that goes. I'd be like, I don't want to answer any question. Then you say Dare.
Okay. Well, since we've been talking so much, maybe I'll start with a Dare, just do something different. So I'll do a Dare. You pick.
Get out of this. Am I just picking one of these?
Yeah. Whatever. You can make it a sandwich.
3 flaming hot Cheetos.
Oh my God.
With 1 Sour Patch.
I might have to go back to Truth. I mean.
You can't be such a... 1 flaming hot Cheeto.
Okay.
1, but together you have to eat them at the same
time. All right.
I'm more worried about the sour stuff.
Okay. All right.
Am I going to pick it for you?
Sure.
Okay.
I feel like,
red or orange or whatever.
If you're going to make me eat it, you can at least choose what I have to do.
Well, then I'm going to pick the biggest Cheeto.
No. God damn it. All right, let me make sure it's on camera here. All right. I said I wasn't going to be on camera, but there I am. Okay, here we go.
It's just your hand.
All right, here we go.
That, like that.
Oh my God.
I just feel like those two
Oh my
together
God.
is probably not going to be good.
So gross.
Yeah, you should be on camera because your face
Oh my
is
God.
so silly. Oh, man.
Wow, that's totally disgusting.
I feel like you wouldn't be able to focus on which one.
God damn it. Oh, that was nasty. Oh, why'd you do that?
Well, you gotta be creative with what you got. Because you picked Dare.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was super horrible. All right. Oh God. Okay. Okay, Monica.
Okay.
It's your turn. Truth or dare?
Well, I do feel like I've been talking a lot, but you know. I also don't want to. I'll go truth. Let's go truth. I'm not.
Truth.
Not
Okay.
afraid of anything.
God damn. Well, I feel like you have been so damn honest. Where am I going to pick from?
An open book.
I know, right? Damn. Okay.
Because I got a little bit of Tito's and some Dayquil in me. Whatever.
Okay. So, and I like to, with games, I like to go a little juvenile. So,
Okay. Perfect.
okay. So I know you're not necessarily the Tinder girl, but if you were to see a famous comedian, male or female, that you could have a one-night stand with, who would that be?
A famous comedian that I could have a one-night stand with.
Male or female?
Male or female.
And why?
Yeah, I was like, what am I going to get out of this? I'm just not really attracted to a lot of comedians.
I'm hoping you say Louis C.K.
It's too easy. That's not. It's too possible at this point. See, I'm like going just sexually immediately because I feel like it's a one night stand, so you're not really getting anything, you know.
Who's going to please you?
Yeah. Right. But then, so if I go just for looks, maybe they're not as good in bed.
Tough question.
Kevin Hart's also very short.
Yes, he is. He's a fun guy, though.
Yeah, I feel like short guys kind of make up for it, you know?
They want
I
it.
feel like they got to prove something a little bit.
Got that chip on their shoulder.
But he's in good shape, and I like that. I think I'm going Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, all right.
I think I'm going to have a one-night stand with Kevin Hart.
I love it. All right, Kevin, if you're listening, Monica can be reached at... Wait, he's married, but he still got in trouble for that anyway,
He
right?
did, yeah, but they just had a kid, I think. And I've heard once you have a kid, it just ruins your body. No, I'm kidding.
Not true. Yeah, so this is a shout out to all the single moms out there. Holler, you still got rocking bodies. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh. It's even more impressive too. I feel like when a woman just like rocking and has like she's like a jujitsu fighter, and then you see like her two children running around.
Right. Yeah.
I can't even cut it up about you. Shit.
It takes a lot of work.
It's amazing.
A lot of work. All right, I think we got to do round two. I guess I'll do a truth.
Okay. Well, I didn't know we were going hypotheticals like that, but
It could be truth. That's fine.
okay. Well, but if it's a yes or no answer, then that's boring.
I can elaborate.
Okay. Have you ever?
Yes, I have.
No, that was good. Yeah, you're just bragging. It's a really small cat.
So hide to bed.
And so did you. Damn it. Okay.
I think I'm going to go with Kevin Hart. I think he'd be fun. I think he'd be fun. You know, I mean, he'd make me laugh. I feel like we'd have some high fives and we'd do some rotisserie stuff. It would be great. So, yeah.
And he's short, tall. That's hilarious.
All right. So there's my truth.
All right. Good job.
All right, we did say 2 rounds. I guess you have another turn.
Oh, okay. I'll go Dare then.
Yay! All right, we got. Now these Funyuns, they look disgusting. So I want you to eat 3 flaming hot Funyuns.
Okay.
Get that onion smell on you. Give it a good whiff.
You didn't say what size.
That's true. I didn't.
You know the weird part about this is I always feel like this is weird. Like somebody's just gonna watch me eat Funyuns. But there's definitely some dude who has like a fetish specifically for this.
Totally.
And flaming hot too, not even just Funyuns. He's like, I like it when
it's out there.
I feel like these aren't really that hot.
Oh,
but I think it's let's get into the science of flaming hot chips.
Let's talk about it.
I think it's the concentration of flaming hotness on here is just a smaller surface area, but this is a little more spread out.
That makes sense.
And I don't know when did they just dust Funyuns and flaming hot stuff, or did they bake it?
I don't know.
Now my mouth won't move.
So I didn't figure out before this. Are you super into hot stuff or no?
I do like hot stuff, but in like a. That's why I didn't answer that question. In like a, or like buffalo sauce and like flaming hot stuff. That's fine, but I don't like habanero and like crazy
Ghost
stuff. I don't
peppers?
like that. No. I don't like it hot just because it's hot. I like the flavor, a little spice. I put hot sauce on everything.
Everything.
Yeah, but like.
So if you want to sponsor Monica Nevi with a flaming hot sauce, she will sponsor the shit out of that.
Hell yeah. I'll push anyone's product after a show. I don't care.
Speaking of which,
free samples of Plan B, whatever.
Oh!
I think that would go well.
Have you recorded your CD yet? I haven't heard about this.
What CD?
A comedy CD.
Oh no, I've never recorded.
What the fuck?
I don't think I want to just to do it. You know, I think I want somebody to want to do it for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know. I've had friends who waited 10 years until they did. I'm getting close to that.
May I have one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna have a second here, Bees.
It's cold in here. Yeah, I've never recorded it. I've never really wanted to. I almost did it. Because so basically you do it before somebody asks you, just so you could sell them after shows, which would be fine. But
getting that extra $40 in your pocket after a show would be nice.
I have other merch, so that works out for me better. I don't really have to burn material, you know. So, and if I wait longer, it'll be a great special or a great CD instead of being like, oh, here's some stuff I kind of like, you know. So. I am thinking about doing a meditation album though.
That would be so dope.
Like a meditation CD. So instead of like per month, it would be like this one's for stress at work, this one's for the morning, this one's for, you know.
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it.
Okay.
Well, first I'm going to say you happen to be talking to a comedy producer that does produce albums. And so if you're interested, I would love to do that with you.
Okay.
Offer is now officially out.
Okay, that's good. We'll take it.
Ed Hill, who's happens to be coming to Laughs in Seattle, March 1st, Thursday, March 1st, 8:30. Come see Ed Hill. He'll be selling the CD that Daryl Coxy helped to produce with him. I love what you've done on YouTube with your, let's see, what was it? The Moments of Perspective, Monica's...
mellowing out with Monica.
Mellowing out with Monica. I love those. Those are gold. Those are fucking gold. They're going to go viral. I know it. Can you take me through just what, for anybody that hasn't experienced one of those yet, what is meditation with Monica like? Can you run us through a potential mellowing out?
Well, so we do them monthly. So what I do before is kind of try and figure out things that might be stressful about this month. So January, it's a new year, so it's a lot of stuff, resolutions, stuff like that. So you would talk about your goals and letting go of 2017. So those kind of things. But you also want to relax. I don't know. So I like totally do meditation. I believe in all of that. I'm definitely like kind of getting more into the spiritual side of. I have crystals in my pocket right now. It's new. We'll see how it goes. But I'm totally. So the idea is that it is still calming. I do think like the actual. He does a good job editing it. It's an actual, like if you listen to it, it's calm. But when I was first starting to try and do meditation, I would listen to guided stuff and laugh at it because it was silly. Because, you know, I was laying there one time and, you know, they're like, okay, now imagine you're in the woods, you know, no one else is there. You can hear the wind blowing through the trees, that kind of stuff. And then one time I was listening and the lady was like, okay, breathe in, breathe out. And she's like, you ever been in nature? And like, I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but it pulls you out of it. But so that was kind of like where the idea came from of just being like, you know, let's relax, you know, be a part of the chair, feel all the energy in your body flowing through you, you know, whatever. But then it's like, you know, forget about any stress at work. It's leaving your body. You know, like you ate Taco Bell. You know? Forget that Janet is a bitch. You know, like just those silly things of being like, okay. And so I like to start it off with kind of a serious, not serious, but you know, it's like, okay, relax, actually be, and then you kind of throw something silly in there. But that's like, you know, that's still what. I mean, I don't know who Janet is, but you know, that's still what people are worried about. It's fun, though. I enjoy doing it.
That's fantastic. I highly recommend all the bees do a search for Mellowing Out with Monica. Brilliant. It's brilliant.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I've been toying with the meditation album idea, so you thinking that's a good idea helps.
Believe it or not, we have been talking now for 55 minutes. How about that? Wow. Yeah. Just time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
So I was going to ask you some boring shit about growing up in Renton. We're just going to skip that.
That's fine.
Unless you have an incredible
Renton's
story.
Trash, and I love it. It's all. I'm very proud to be from there, but it's full of trash. That wraps it up.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah. So one of your clips you talked about not wanting kids, and but also not wanting to grow old alone. Aren't kids a part of your legacy? Like, do you think you might change your mind later?
I do think I have changed my mind. But, I mean, that whole bit is really to get in talking about me working with kids, and other people's kids are horrible.
Right.
But I don't physically want to have a child. I think about adoption like a lot, but obviously I'm not in a financial place to do that. I actually have a brand new bit that I just started doing in Wenatchee about being a mother and how that would, like, I'm kind of afraid of that part of it. Like, it's not because you're still in charge of, like, making this into a functional human, you know? Mm-hmm. And, like, Ted Bundy had a mom. You know? Like, that's...
Right.
But, so there's worry with that. But also, I see, like, the relationship I have with my parents now is so fucking cool. Mm-hmm. And being able to just like, oh, I just made myself a best friend. You know, like that seems that seems kind of cool. I mean, no, you know, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get along with my kids as much as my parents do with me. But, you know, you kind of do. And it's like, I fear giving them things about me, but also there's some things about me and my parents that I'm like, oh, another person having that would be pretty cool too. So it's kind of weird. I also feel like it's a relationship thing, and if you decide you want to parent with another person, that's a different situation too. And we've already talked about my relationships. I have, you know, no one is really, you know, I've never really been with someone where I'm like, I would be honored to be a parent with that person, but I think that might change your outlook too. Yeah, so it's definitely not as, because people are like, you hate kids, and I'm like, I don't really. I'm actually really good with them because I worked with them forever.
Right.
And you know, you give me 1 or 2 at a time, that's great. But I worked with 15 at a time alone for years, and that's like, all right, so let's take it down.
Right.
Right. So that's a huge difference. And all the parents at work would always be like, it's different when it's your kid. And I'm like, I'm well aware it's different because your kid is an asshole and you don't see it at all. So.
All right. So I was thinking of opening with this topic, but then I'm like, I know I like to go deep, but this may be too deep to start with. So
okay,
this
work up to it.
Yeah, I know, right? So there's actually a title of a book out there called "When Love Is Not Enough." And yeah, no, it's related to like love not being able to fix a kid with certain behavioral issues,
okay.
You know, especially if they're developmental.
Okay.
But that resonated with me because I've had a couple long-term relationships that were super real, super incredible. And I put every fucking inch of my being into it, and it wasn't enough. And so it's just like, you know, when you grow up with like Disney movies and you think love conquers all, and, you know, your favorite movie is The Fifth Element, where you learn that love is the one thing that can stop the nothing. It's like, fuck, like, why doesn't love cure cancer? Why doesn't love fix the Middle East? Why doesn't love, you know, stop addiction with, you know, with that significant person in your life? You know, why isn't it enough? And it's fucking incredible, but it doesn't trump everything. You know, it sometimes the good guys lose. Yeah. Sometimes love, despite it being true and real, isn't enough. And it's sobering as fuck. And so that's my truth. And, but I haven't given up. It's not like I'm, you know, not willing to. I think that's what happens for a lot of people is they're not willing to open up their heart again. You know, I'm certainly not in that boat, but it's kind of baffling
when you're. That's good though. I mean, I definitely went in the. I'm not letting anybody in here,
mm-hmm.
And only recently have I reconsidered that, and mm-hmm. It wasn't. It's not fun, you know, and even in a friendship sense, I was kind of like, I can do this alone. I can do this by myself. It's fine. I can take care of it. I don't want to be a burden for anybody else. And that's not what other people are for. Mm-hmm. You know, your relationships are for being supported. And it's not, I think it's great that you're still open, and you should stay that way.
Cool. But why is it enough? Why doesn't it trump the other issues of life? Like, why, you know, that's the thing that's like I wrestle with is like, why not? You know, and maybe it's just because for me I was 100% and maybe they weren't. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe that is part of it. You both have to be on that same exact level, basically, and stay there, which is
mm-hmm. Right.
Or my grandparents, they've been married for 60 years, very like high school sweetheart kind of situation.
Aww, nice.
They're adorable. They still love each other. They hold hands and stuff. It's very cute. I asked them once, and they were like, I couldn't imagine being with anybody else. You know, it's still, and so you ask, okay, what's the secret? What's the key? And my grandmother said, every time he didn't like me, I really liked him. And every time I didn't like him, he really liked me. And it never happened at the same time that we didn't like each other. And so it is kind of a timing thing and who's going to go this way. And I've had that happen before also. Why isn't it enough, though? I think what I've really been dealing with lately is that I think that like your consciousness and your heart and your soul are so separate from your mind that you talk yourself out of stuff you shouldn't. It's like or you talk yourself into stuff that you shouldn't. You know what I mean? Like when I was trying to date people and I was like, on paper, this guy is great. Like this is, you know, he's good with my lifestyle. He's got a good job, blah, blah, blah. We get along. But I just don't, there's something like it just doesn't work. And so because you're disconnected from that, I think that's part of it. And so you just let your mind run so much of your life instead of stepping away from it, because all the time, even if you're trying to be conscious of it, you're like, okay, I'm going to think of it, I'm going to control my thoughts and redirect them and whatnot, but that's still being all the way in your mind. You have to suck all the way back from it and not think about anything and just be. There's feelings and stuff, I've heard. But I think that part of it, like we just let that get so involved. And then I think maybe if you give so much of yourself to a relationship and then you lose part of who you are and what maybe you wanted to do, then resentment kind of seeps into the relationship. And so not only do you need to find someone that loves you, that you love, that you're connected with, that maybe you agree with about parenting or whatever, but also that's going to let you be you and you can be them and not, take any part of you away. I don't really, like this all sounds very great, but I don't even know if you can do that. And I'm sure there's still some, gray area in that, but yeah, you need to still be you. I think that's the part of it. The relationship, sometimes I watch my friends where I'm like, you have totally changed or you've totally put yourself into this, which I think is nice that you love someone, but I still love that person. I still love you, and I want you to still be that person. Like, I only want my friends to be with people who allow them to be themselves. And I feel like maybe that's when... Because you can really love someone and then totally lose yourself and not love yourself anymore. And that's when it's not enough. It's when you aren't two separate, you're not a separate person anymore. Yep.
That's really wise. That's really good. When I asked that question, I honestly didn't think I'd get an answer, but that was fucking fabulous.
It's me working through my own issues at the same time, but
that was really good. That was really good. Wowzers. Woo! Holy cow, people. That was good. So we hit the 1 hour mark. I'm sure there's more to talk about, but we have something fun we're going to close the show with in a minute. But before we get there, I wanted to give you the opportunity to take the floor. Is there anything you want to ask me about, talk about, or... self-promote? Let's talk. Now, mind you, I'm not going to get my ass around to editing this for probably a week, so don't promote a show tomorrow, but talk to us about Hug Life. Let's talk about your presences on social media, where they can find you.
Yeah.
Let's do some self-promoting. Take the floor.
Cool, we can do that. Yeah, I also have a podcast. It's called the Hug Life Podcast. You can find it on iTunes and everywhere. It's also on the Podaholics Network. It's great. It's fun. It's all about positivity and good news and fun stuff. And it's just an hour of forgetting that everything sucks. We talk about good news stories and we positive spin a topic and play some games. It's fun. You can find Mellowing Out with Monica is on YouTube. It's also on my Facebook fan page, which is just facebook.com/Monica Nevi, and you can like that, which is great. Actually, that's the one I'm probably most up with. That's when my shows are, what new stuff is coming out, what's going on. And everything is just my name, Monica Nevi, at Monica Nevi, monicanevi.com, all of that. So Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, I got all that crap. And calendar's usually updated if you want to come see me live. I'm up here quite a bit, but I travel all over the country, so no matter where you buzzing around. And then the thing I'm most proud of, and I wish I had a way to, or answers to these questions right now, but I did a documentary series this summer called 80 for 80, and we did a premiere event for it, so some people have already seen the first episode, but the full series will be done soon, and we're not exactly sure where it's going to be out on. But if you like and follow all of my stuff, there'll be news about that too, and I'm really proud of it. I really like it. So, yeah.
80 for 80. Mm-hmm. All right, very cool.
Yes, I interview people over the age of 80.
Oh, dope!
It's amazing.
That sounds fantastic.
It's in the intensity of a sports documentary. So
awesome. All right, Monica, this has been incredible. You've touched my heart. Thank you so much for sharing with the bees. And as always, we have to end with a song. And we're just young, dumb, and broke. We still got love to give. Well, we're young, dumb, young, dumb, and broke. Young, dumb, dumb, and broke. Young, dumb, dumb, and broke. Young, dumb, broke high school kid. Yeah. Yes.
Crushed it.
Yes.
It's funny that the lyrics aren't in function. It looks like you're just texting while you're doing Karen.
High five. Yes. Good job.